Welcome back, everybody.
Anyway, so today's show. So we got some news. We have a product release date announcement that we've already made. We're gonna show some stuff. We're gonna talk about stuff. Then we're gonna do a Q&A, and there are some things that we're not prepared to discuss at this time, and there are other things that feel free to shoot questions, and maybe we'll answer them on the fly. I'm just gonna have a sip of Coke here.
I'll have water.
All right, can you all see my screen?
We can, and that looks beautiful.
So this is the D30.
Folks, you have to excuse Colin. He's getting a little bit up there in age. We've been dealing with
No,
this for a
I've
while
just
now.
had too much Coke. That's it. All right. So this is the A6M Zero that we are doing, and that we, fingers crossed, hope to release by the end of next month, the end of May. So no firm date, but that's what we're hoping. Coding is moving along apace, and it really does look really, really, really nice. So, fun facts about the Zero that we learned as we were doing this plane: the 5, they had radios over here, but guess what? 99 times out of 100 or more like all of them, they pulled the radios out because they didn't work and they were heavy. And when things that are heavy and don't work, those things are going to affect your flight profile in a dogfight. And as the Zeros were already in trouble with American dogfighting techniques, they pulled the radios. So we pulled the radios. I don't know why I'm pointing over there. I could be. Which way should I be pointing? D, is it this way? This way? Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Point at your screen.
There.
Point at your camera.
Anyway, so this Zero is representative of that era, late 1940, 44, closing on 45. And hold it,
Yeah,
let me.
and speaking to Jim, I think one of the things he mentioned about the radios is there wasn't enough data because all the zeros flying, whatever's flying now, it's all different parts now that have been put in there to keep them
That's
flying.
right.
So there just wasn't enough
So
information. Yeah.
That's right. So a lot of the zeros, the A6Ms that are flying today, are not zeros fully and completely. They either have some kind of fake sake engine. I think there's one that has a sake engine in it, um, but that one's control systems, like the gauges and the levers and all that stuff, is Russian. So not a complete aircraft. When Tamiya was making their 132 scale Zero, they did a very thorough and in-depth research project on that aircraft. Um, and what they found was telling. Real zero there's no real Zero information packet out there. At the end of the war, they were all pretty much destroyed except for a couple, leaving us with, not much information on how to make this plane work and do what it does, right? Um, One of the things that we did find out is that initially the engine that we had done was incorrect. So we're revamping it. I'm not allowed to show it. So look over here, look over here. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. Phew. And as you can plainly see, we went with a very messed up, very dirty aircraft, especially since towards the end of the war, the Japanese were less careful about how they were taking care of the
Yeah.
planes, and so that that was yeah. But you can see that this plane is really nice. So we've done a couple of liveries that are not A6M5, where we did a couple that are twos. We did a couple that are circa Pearl Harbor. We did, the Leopard's Body one. That one's pretty cool. And we didn't put any Easter eggs into this aircraft. Usually we put Easter eggs into our products, but in this one we didn't. We felt that that was a little bit beneath the you know beneath the reality of what this aircraft represented at the time, and still to this day, the day of infamy.
And just
Um,
clarifying, this will be Blackbird, correct?
this is Blackbird, and it is 2024 only.
Good.
The intention is to release it for the marketplace as well and for Xbox. This one should run fine on the Xbox. So it's not too crazy in terms of triangle count or in terms of mapping. But as you can plainly see, it is pretty nice. Uh,
There is a question about ordnance. I think all of the options to execute ordnance will be modeled in the cockpit, but I don't know if
so
externally.
the way this is going to work is Uh, most Zeros did not carry ordnance. They didn't carry bombs. Yes, there was a capability to do so, but it was almost never used.
It's like mostly
So
guns, right? Just
it's guns,
yeah.
yeah. So there's two 12.7 millimeter machine guns in the front that are. Hold on, let me just see if I can get there. Dun, dun, dun. We have these two big ass machine guns here, one there. The charging handles will work if you're not buying it from the marketplace, and you'll be able to fire them. There will be some tracers. Oh, I can't remember how to do this. There's supposed to be a way to get into the cockpit
There
this
is.
way.
You're supposed to like walk up to it and then you can grab the handholds and then kind of pull yourself up.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, Jim
Well, let's
demonstrated it
try
for me
that.
yesterday, and it was or on Friday. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can walk right up on the, and then you should be able to open the canopy somewhere. Should be a. There it
Oh, there
is.
it
There it
is.
is. There we go.
Anyway, okay, so you got the two 12.7 millimeter machine guns that are going through the prop right here. There they are, and we've got two 20 millimeter cannons, one and two. Those are in the wing. They don't have a lot of rounds, 100 rounds, and I think if you press the trigger for like 2.5 seconds, you're out. Um, so the Zero was not that well armed or armored at all, right? So pretty much one hit from even a 50 caliber could conceivably take the aircraft out. It would just pretty much blow up. It did not have, um, you know, uh, rubberized fuel tanks. It didn't have any armor for the pilots. The Japanese methodology was very different at the time from what the American methodology was and is today. So anyway, you can see that the aircraft is really well modeled. It's really really pretty. Uh, about 85 to 95% of the code is done. Remaining is the custom stuff for supercharger and stuff like that. And we're not 100. We're probably not going to be able to do the full on supercharger. This thing actually had a two-stage supercharger, so we're not going to be able to do that. The sim just makes it really hard for us to do that kind of thing, even if we're doing custom code. It will have, as you can plainly see, it'll have the, like a little EFB kind of thing, where you can, do your modifications, add the fuel tank, remove the fuel tank, stuff like that. Um, and like I said, it will be able to fire tracers, which is pretty cool. You will have to pay attention to your engine stuff because if you don't, like in the Corsair, bad things can happen. Um, I'm not sure if Jim has allowed for that to be turned off. You'll see. There will be a manual with this, and we might do a brief tutorial, but it's a fairly simple aircraft. We haven't decided on pricing yet. And again, the release date is expected to be end of next month. Just
And
time for a sip.
yep. And to clarify, for those who want the variant that can fire tracers, they get that on the marketplace, or they buy directly to through
No, they have to
Blackbird.
buy it direct from us. We cannot. We can sell it with the weapons in place, but you can't do anything. The charging handles will do. Uh, I'm not actually sure if we can have the charging handles move. I'm not sure about that. We'll try for a release with that. But it'll just make the noise and the trigger will do nothing. I'm sorry, the trigger is actually over here on the throttle. The Japanese, the Zero is very weird in how
It is. It's kind of backwards.
it's kind of, yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of backwards. Like, and the Americans test pilots who flew the version that's actually in the Smithsonian hanging up, they said some not very nice things about this aircraft. Like, really, they were, I mean, possibly it was, because they didn't like it very much. It was Japanese at the time. So one extra thing that's interesting to note about this aircraft is that this whole red thing means don't step there. In fact, the only place you can step to get into the aircraft is here, here, and here. You cannot stand on the wings. If you do, you'll go right through it. So when they were actually reloading the guns, they had what looks like a bridge that moved over the wings, and then they would load the guns that way. Kind of a crazy thing. So yeah, so let me load up our next thing here, which is going to be the Otter. So pick one, Totter or Radial. Pick one. Somebody.
Let's look at the turbo.
The Turbo, also known as the Totter. Let's go. All right, same place. Come on, my hometown. There we go. Right. Yes, it is a cloudy day today. All right. So, the Otter, the modeling is done. What we are doing is turbo and radial. We're doing straight floats. We're doing skis. We're doing um, let's tundra tires and regular tires, and that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna pause the sim so we don't keep rolling. And so the plan here is to have the gauges are done. They're just not in this version of it. Code has commenced on this. We're I'd say probably about a third to half of the way there. So we expect to release this by the end of the summer, if not before. We made this kind of used a little bit. It's not like a Harbor Air aircraft where we do have some of those liveries. But, we decided that, because I'm big on, dirt and wear and tear, that we would do it like this. That said, there are some differences in terms of, wear and tear on the nose. It's not as dirty. But you can plainly see that the aircraft modeling is and paint are really stupendous. This actually takes it up to the next level in terms of quality. If we take a close look at this, look at that. That is absolutely incredible as far as I'm concerned.
That is so
It's
sexy. Oh
beautiful.
my gosh.
Yeah, it's very, very, very beautiful. And because we've already done, the PT6A engine in the PC6, the intention is to borrow at least some of that code and enhance it so that it does a better job. So we're going to make the PT6A turbo like it should be. This aircraft is, I'm pretty sure, not capable of doing the kind of thing that the PC6 is in terms of descending and doing the beta. I think you would not be allowed to do that in this aircraft. Plus, it could be really dangerous. Um, I want to show the radial too. So let me just get the radial here. The radial, there it is. Oh, you can see this one. We're going to be talking about that pretty soon. Woohoo! Uh-huh. Okay, seal. There we go. Start the flight. Okay, while we're waiting for that thing to appear, let's briefly talk about the SR-71. So Dutch has moved forward quite a fair bit with that. We now have it supersonic. Dutch and Paul is the guy who's doing the flight profile. They have it now going just over, what is it, Mach 2.4, something like that, and they're working on getting it going to the maximum of 3 point something. It's classified. Okay, so yeah, the SR, the sounds are in play. The sounds are being worked on as we speak. The model is going to be tossed into 2024, or actually, it is in 2024. And this, like all of our upcoming and future products, will only be for 2024. I can hear the screaming, but let me briefly explain why we're doing this. Okay, I know other companies are doing it differently. I understand that, and I understand that there's a lot of people who don't want to move to 2024. But the fact is, we are a relatively small company working in two different product lines, and the differences between the two sims is significant enough that having to do it twice means literally having to do it twice. It doesn't mean, oh, you can easily port one to the other. That's not the case, especially if you want to use the stuff that is special and or specific to 2024. And I'm not even speaking about career mode here, right? That has issues that I don't want to get into, but like the CFD, the fluid dynamics, that does not exist in 2020. So you basically have to do the flight profile from scratch. The whole LOD system, the oh my God, look at my plane! No. So there's no flight profile on this right now. This is just in sim. It's not. It's not ready for action here. Oh, look at that baby! She's so beautiful. When I asked Dimitri to do this, he was like, "Yeah, it's so cool. It's a beautiful plane." And so, yes, it is a beautiful plane. So anyway, just to wrap up on the 2024 thing, the you know, while I understand, I do understand. A lot of people found that the release of 2024 was a bit. I'm not going to get into what it was, but at this point, it's actually really stable. And, yes, there are some issues with it, but we cannot have two teams doing concurrent code on one model. We just don't have the bandwidth or the infrastructure to do that. So, what does that mean? Well, it means that we're, for the moment, going to stick with 2024 and see how it plays out. Now, you as a potential purchaser, you may diss us for that, but the fact is we can't afford to do both, not and keep them at the same level of quality, right? That's the main issue. We either devote our resources that we have to doing one really nice or doing two and not so nice. And so and or taking a really, really, really long time to do both of them. So we've decided to just do one, right? And that's what's happening. Okay, so I want to talk briefly about the 732. So yes, we are still doing the 732. Code is about 35% or more. Um, we are in negotiations to make a deal with some other company that you know well about this. We're not going to say who. They know who they are. We know who they are. You will find out. And we're doing two versions. We're doing this version, which has a UNS SBAS 1 and the four screeds. It's glass, partially, kind of, sort of. We're going to have two types of engine gauges. We're going to have the glass engine gauge, which is basically a screen with objects laid over it. I don't know why they did that. And or analog gauges. And then we're going to have, and let me just show you the modeling. The modeling is pretty well done. The the decaling, the text is actually done, but the people who are doing the model neglected to send me the files. Hugo. It's
They're working
DHM
hard
that's
down there.
doing. They are working hard down there.
Yeah.
They're working on this, and they're working on the F-16, which looks really, really nice. We're not showing that one today. And we're still trying to figure out how to do the weapons. We have all these beautiful weapons, but because we have so many beautiful weapons, and the F-16 can carry so many of these beautiful, you start to get the idea. It's like, what was it? 40 gigs of weapons, Osh? I think that's what it was. 40 gigabytes of weapons. Just weapons. That's insane. Okay, so analog. Okay, so there we go. That's with the decals. And the modeling is really, really nice and coming along. The intention for this one is to do this the center console and the overhead and the side consoles, for what they are, will be the same. And the AP will be the SP177. We're not doing the 77. And it will be the same center console, same overhead, same AP, same systems in both versions. The major difference will be the fact that one is completely analog, steam driven, and the other is glass hybrid, kind of, sort of, right? So that's that. And is Farley ready? Is he ready, Merlin?
I am muted. Now I'm unmuted.
Oh, there he is.
Yep.
Are you
Hey
ready?
there. Yep.
Who
Okay,
are you,
so let me
Farley?
do
Tell
a
everyone
brief.
who you are.
Hi.
Yeah.
So I'm Farley. I'm the lead dev on this.
Dirty 30.
It's been my baby for the past several years now.
Stop. Don't call it that.
Dirty 30. So, you must call it the 3030. I don't know what this C is you speak of.
I was admonished like just before we went on air. My apologies. Yes,
Share
the
your
dirty
screen,
30, the dirty 30, the block 6.5 dirty 30 to
There we
be
go.
exact.
Right. Share your screen, man.
Here we go. Here, should I share just the one window or the whole screen?
Full screen.
Full screen. All right. This is my first stream, so my apologies if I don't do good. So here you can see, here it is. This is unmistakably a dirty 30. Couldn't mistake it for anything else. This is the long version. We have the short version as well. And I just wanted to show you around a little bit. This is by far our most ambitious project, just hands down. It's an extremely complex airplane, and we're doing it to the utmost detail and realism. It's easily, I would say, it's as complex as any, well, certainly more complex than any twin-engined airliner, and probably more complex than most four-engined airliners. Absolute beast, and we've worked a lot on it. I just want to show you some parts of it, some points of interest. It is still a work in progress, but it's going to be released as an alpha version, right?
Yep.
Yep, and it's and we'll continue developing it as it's released and make it into an absolute thing of beauty. So here we can come up to the crew door here, open it up, and we can see the avionics well. Here's the nose wheel well. All right, here we go. We can close it later, that door from the inside. Let's climb up to the cockpit so you can see it's we have actually 3 different variants for the rear cockpit, and we'll have more coming as well. We also have tanker and aerial refueling variants done. The model is done for that. It was just too much to get into the initial release.
Right.
But it
So
will follow later.
just quickly on the subject of tanker. The idea here is that those will be DLCs. They will be add-on packages. They are not going to be included in the initial release. And initial release, I don't mean what we're releasing on May 1st, but what we're releasing as an actual product, not alpha. That the stuff, so we're planning on including in a DLC MAFs, which is the firefighting stuff, the refueling, both give and take, and also the Moab. Right, so this aircraft will be able to do all of that. Go ahead, Farley.
We've also got defensive system flares and chaff in the work. The basic technology for that we've got down. It just needs to be integrated with the systems. Integrating anything with the systems of this airplane is kind of a task. So I thought we'd first just look around the cockpit a little bit, do a like the simplest possible cold and dark start. Take it for a little flight and look at some of the parts that I personally think are pretty cool. So to start, let's check the battery. This has a fully custom electrical system.
We're not showing the microwave now. No.
The microwave is an Easter egg, right? You've got to find it yourself. Just bear in mind the tip is you have to make sure you have left AC bus power. Yes, left-hand AC bus power on these breakers here. Otherwise, it will not run. Yeah, so even flying this thing, you're gonna have to go through the manuals. It's not. That's just sort of a fact of the complexity of the aircraft multiplied by the depth of the simulation means that there will have to be some. I mean, it's a study level sim. There's going to have to be studying going on in order to really use it to its full potential. But that's what it's about. So we can check the battery here. We've got a full battery right now, but the battery actually has a lifespan and will degrade over time, and will get if you get much under 24 volts, you're gonna have to recharge. You're gonna have to service that battery, which you can do from the tablet here. You can also set up your controls here. You can see I've just finished putting in a bunch of stuff for the cursor panel. Any controls that you can use in the default sim that apply to this aircraft, you can also use. You can set it up through the default control system. However, there's so much stuff in here that just doesn't correspond to a sim event. For example, these cursor controls that you really want to be, on a joystick. There's a lot of things, HUD declutter, like a bunch of stuff that's really makes more sense to have hardware control for if you can. So we have our own custom hardware system here where you can assign those controls. And for those of you who are hardcore cockpit builders, we have a whole other interface, a little bit of a Lua script, or pick your weapon. You can interface with, you can read and write literally any switch in the entire cockpit. Yeah, so let's turn on the battery here. See everything boot up. First, we get our gear test or trim test. You can see the standby attitude gauge is powering up. There's some work yet to do on the sounds, but we'll get that in. Brighten this up a little bit. So right now we're on battery power alone. On battery power alone, we only get these two HDDs. These are called head-down displays, aka MFDs. Airdrops will not be available at alpha launch. So these are your head-down displays. There's 4 of them. These are just nomenclature, basic nomenclature time. These are your MFDs in this aircraft. They're called HDDs. This is your HUD, obviously. These are your AM. These are called your avionics management units, AMUs. This is your communication, comm nav, and ECB, comm nav and breaker panel. That's what it's called, CNBP. So with battery power only, this is what lights up, and in your very most emergency situation, this is what'll come on. Now let's start up the APU. You can do an APU start from here. APU starts too fast right now, but we'll get that.
All right, sorry, Farley, I'm not laughing at you. Somebody asked about the shag carpet. Remember the shag carpet? Shaggy seats, baby. Let's go.
Yep. This airplane, it's actually fascinating because there's so much avionics in the cockpit, right? But this airplane is from the 1950s, no mistake. You can see this steering tiller, right, which is of course fully operational. But my favorite fun fact about this
Dirty 30.
Even in the very, very latest AC-130, MC-130Js made for the U.S. military and every military, that has so much processor power in it. They still have dedicated iron lung outlets in the cargo compartment from the 1950s, anticipating, evacuating people afflicted with polio, or no, that's not polio. That was
polio.
TB.
Oh, tuberculosis too, right? Yeah.
Tuberculosis. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's some things about this. That's what makes this aircraft so fascinating, I think, or one of the things. Is that there's such a mix of old and new. The avionics are really advanced, and the basic airframe is
really
not that far removed from World War II. Okay, so let's get our APU power on. This brings up AC power. The aircraft runs off AC power, which is a little bit fun and funky in that it runs off of the propeller gearbox. And given that it's AC power, it's frequency sensitive. So if you overspeed or underspeed the propeller, which it is actually not that hard to do, and there's big warnings in the manual about it, you will get a total AC power loss, and your screens will go dark, and pilots have told me that they've seen it happen before. Let's now let's boot up. Let's just do a very, very quick boot up of the this is called the CNI MU. Probably you'll know it as an FMS. In here, it's called the Communications, Navigations, and IFF Management Unit. So first we got to enter the date, and we do that in military format. So what's it? 27 Alpha Papa Romeo 25. Plug that in. Gives us a warning that our navigation database is out of date. That's okay. We're using the demo copy from Navigraph, but of course you can get the very latest navigation database from Navigraph, same as you would any other plane that you would do that on. Now we have two big buttons. Master Av on, auto nav. We can see our GPS position is valid. So let's hit auto nav. I actually speeded up. I sped up a little bit the alignment for the purposes of this demo, but you can of course elect in the tablet to use the to have it take the realistic amount of time, which of course varies based on latitude, or you can have it take no time at all. I have it about halfway between here. Here's the control, the navigation control here. We can watch there we go. Our AHRS came up. That's part of the INS. So once it gets a course align, then your attitude comes up. And that means you can go back to the index here to power up, and we can select Master Av on, and that just turns on all our radios. So now our com radios have come on. High frequency 1, HF1 and HF2 stay off. You have to turn those on manually. So now the nav control is something I want to talk about a little bit. Super proud of it. There's a lot in there. So we have a full INS that's actually based on a Kalman filter, just like the real thing. It takes into account Earth rotation, Schuler tuning. So you get Schuler period errors at 84 minutes, just like the real thing. It's super realistic. As we all probably know, the current and future conflicts will almost certainly be fought in a environment of GPS denial. And this aircraft obviously has a lot of consideration for that situation, and we'll get to that once we get in the air. For right now, let's enable all our sensors. Let's enable our TACAN and VOR. Those will get fed into this solution. So of course, like this, the normal navigation solution is EGI, which has GPS and INS blended together with a Kalman filter. If we disable GPS, then we'll get an INS only solution with a couple tricks that we'll get to later. So now let's see. Let's start up our engines. Here our HUD has come online, and I didn't adjust the seat. So you adjust the seat based on, weird. Okay, I think I have a key hooked up. I think I ran afoul of a SIM key, like a keyboard command that was tied to the APU switch. Now we got to resync offside, and we are back. data in again. 27 Alpha Papa Romeo 25.
I'm just going to jump in and say that worry not, folks. We will do a video on how to start up this aircraft.
Yeah,
with systems.
there's endless, and you know, if you want to, you can find online hundreds of pages of manuals, and that's what we used among other things to write this code, and you will find it all pretty much applicable.
Yeah, the U.S. Air Force actually just posted a YouTube video on how to start up
a dirty 30, a
the
dirty
Dirty
30.
30, and it's actually the same. So
yes, it is. Yeah. So another thing just to mention: all these circuit breakers work. You can turn on, turn off, whatever you want. Let's turn on now. Let's start our engines. We should have good bleed air. So let's start our number 3 engine. Here it comes up. Still a little bit of work to do on these guys, but get there. So this is going to start in low idle, which is basically, it's low ground idle. So it's 73% roughly of NP. The important thing to note, though, of course, like I said before, is that the AC generator will not run at that RPM. The AC generator will only run if it's up right very close to 100% RPM. So you absolute must have your APU on and connected up before you push this low idle before you push that low idle button and go to low idle. You can taxi in low idle if you're at low gross weight. If you're at high gross weight, you'll need to go up to high ground idle. So basically, there's three separate positions. There's flight idle, there's high ground idle, which is 99% N1, and then there's low ground idle, which is these buttons, which is.
Can you look out the window, Farley?
Yep.
There's also a question in the chat about multi-crew capability.
Yeah, no. As much as I'd love to be able to do that, I think, quite honestly, given the weight of the systems and the model and the textures, adding that kind of thing to it would make it difficult to run. Can you look at the props? I wanted to see, because you've got 2 engines started, right?
Yep. Here,
and while you're doing that, there was another question about whether or not an external application will be required.
No external application required. There's the props. There's my number 1 prop, getting up to its low ground idle speed. It's already come out of feather. Comes out of feather automatically when you start it. Is that what you wanted to see?
Yes, thank you.
Sweet. Our HUD's up here.
And Colin, will there be a paint kit?
Yes.
Just kind of going through some of the questions in the chat.
Sure, go for it.
Sweet. So we got all 4 engines started right now. We're at about 100 horsepower. This is our horsepower meter. Now we might as well we're unloaded right now, so we might as well taxi at low ground idle. Our right AC bus and left AC bus are off until we get 2 good engines, or 2 engines out up with NP up near 100%. So you can't use the microwave now. Sorry. I think we have our radar on here. Let's put that in MTM mode. I think we're ready to taxi. I mean, I'm not going to get into today how to set up basically the whole, the takeoff landing data. That would be an entire other, long video, which we should do at some point for sure. But to set up all the weight and balance, set up all the takeoff and landing data, a route, put in a route, etc. It's mostly similar to what you would find in, say, a 737, or whatever airliner you're familiar with. It's mostly similar, with some differences. All right, so we don't need a pushback because we can push ourselves back. The props reverse, and we might as well use that. We also have, here we go. Oh, we got our tiller cocked there. We also have a tiller control. I have it linked up to my slider on my Warthog. Let's get it. I need a little bit more power here to make that turn. There we go. I think I picked a parking space right next to the runway here in Honolulu. We'll see. We'll see where we come out. How did I do this parking? This will work. I'm happy with this.
And yes, the windows do open. Don't do it.
Yep, the windows do open, but they will not open if the cabin is pressurized. And there are certain cases where the cabin fails pressurized. And in that case, you can actually use and should use the window as that's actually your hack to tell if you've finished depressurizing or not. So in the case that all the systems go dead and your wastegate fails closed, you actually use this to confirm that you're depressurized and are good to open the doors. So, yep. All right, let's get on towards that guy's taking off like a rocket. All right, we can taxi here in low ground idle. I'm just using the tiller on my Warthog, the little slider.
Let's take a look at the external view a little bit too while you taxi there. See
Sure.
that body.
Sure. How do I do that? I'll be honest, I don't go to external that much. I mostly am an in-cockpit sort of person. We do not need very much runway at all, so we might as well just make an intersection takeoff here. That should be plenty.
And there was a question about engines. Right, I don't think we have all the sounds in yet. Do we? Are they?
The engine sounds are mostly there. We're missing some cooling fans in the cockpit and underfloor area. Yeah.
Sound is work in progress still.
Yeah, sound is still work in progress.
Okay.
So I don't need to use brakes either. I can just use just dip into reverse thrust just a little bit here. Bring us to a stop. There we go.
I'm just going to briefly talk about what's done, what's not done for those who are seriously considering purchasing this product, and we hope that you do. So on the website, which will be posted as a link in the Twitch stream and in the YouTube video that will be posted later, there is a list that will be updated on a regular basis of things that are not yet done or complete. Our intention here is to, as those get done, the list will get smaller while the price gets bigger. See how that works? List smaller, price bigger. Yep. So that's the idea behind limited, right? It is not we're limiting quantities. We're not limiting the amount of time that it's on sale. We're limiting the time that it's on sale at this particular price point. So internally, most development companies call alpha as not everything is in and not everything is working. Beta would be everything is in, but not necessarily working as it's supposed to be. And then RC, release candidate, is where everything is in and is working the way it's supposed to be. Fingers crossed. And then, of course, it gets released. So even though we're calling this an alpha release, it isn't. It's more like a beta. So everything that we want, except for one thing, is in. And it is our intention to add that thing. I think it's caps, right?
Well, there's caps, there's carp. Yeah, there's a few things it's on the list. We do have a list. The one thing that I do want to assure everybody is we've dumped so much into this thing. There is absolutely zero chance that we're not gonna, gonna keep with it until it's well and truly perfect.
Yeah,
like there's so many, just there's literally hundreds of pages in the avionics. Literally hundreds. There's something like 900 ECBs. There's just so many. There's hundreds and hundreds of files of source code for this thing. So
airdrop is definitely going to be in. We're not entirely sure how we're going to handle parachutists, paratroopers. But we're definitely going to do, a la competition Captain Sim guys. We're definitely going to do that type of, cargo drop thing. We're looking at how to do that, and we'll probably do it, if not exactly the same, in a similar fashion. We also do want to include tactical, so low level, extremely low level. Yeah, right. So we're definitely going to do those too. Those will be included in the base package. The things, again, that will not be included are tanking, both giving and taking, MAFs, and Moab, and what was the other one? I think that was the 3 items. Steve, am I right on that? I think so, right? I think it's those 3. Those will be a DLC. And yes, you will have to pay a little bit extra. It's not going to be hugely expensive. We're thinking like $100 or something. I'm kidding.
Well, we could sell it for $100 and it would be worth it.
Yes. Yeah. So about that pricing, we actually did want to talk about the pricing a little bit, and that the reason why we're doing it at $24.99 to start with is because we are well aware of the financial situation in the world right now, and expecting or hoping that people will be able to drop $50, $60, $70, $80, $100 on this, even though it is freaking awesome. That expectation, I think, in this, in today's situation, it's asking too much of people. So we're pricing it at $24.99 because we want you to buy it. We want you to have it, right? It's not that it's not worth more. It's worth a lot more, right? This is a significant investment of time, effort, money. I mean, Farley is pulling rabbits out of his butt every day. I mean, every day. Yeah. So yeah. We want you to be able to purchase this product, and that's why we're pricing it accordingly. Okay, I just want to touch base on that. Okay, I already did say we're going to raise the price. The price will go up as we update. So the list gets smaller, the price gets higher. That is definitively what we're going to do. Where that price ends up, we have not yet decided. It really depends on a lot of factors, including, what's happening in the. Oh yes, right. So everybody gets those up to everybody who purchases it today, or when it's $24.99, they will get those updates free of charge. We are not charging you further down the line for more updates. You buy it now, you're good to go. You will have to pay more for the DLC, but you will not have to pay for any further updates down the line. You buy it once, you get it. That's it. And we will send it out to people as and when it gets updated. I'm not 100% sure that we can put this on the marketplace in this state. I think we probably could, given that there are many, many products that aren't even close to this capable, and they're called finished. But I'm not 100% sure that we can or that we want to.
We want to keep the. We want to keep true to what this product is supposed to be.
Yeah. So part of the reason that we're releasing it now is, financial, of course. I mean, let's be realistic. Yes, we want your money. It's true. I admit it. But second to that is we need more people with eyes on, a lot more. So, when you buy this, we will send you links to our Discord channel where you can, post problems and bugs and ask questions. Sometimes we may not get to your question or your bug immediately. Sometimes we will not fix whatever is broken or not broken, as the case may be. But the idea is to get more hands, more eyes on this product so that we can, flesh it out and and make it better. So, we have, I think, four pilots who fly this plane, who have flown this plane. But that's just not enough for how complex this aircraft is.
As well as crew chiefs and whatnot we have as well.
Yes,
We do.
But yeah, there's multiple sides to testing too, right?
right.
There is, and no matter how many, I mean, we do have, some good dedicated testers, but no matter how much we test, we never fully know what could go wrong until it's widespread across hundreds or thousands of computers.
There's so many edge cases and different use cases and system specs and whatnot. Yep.
And other add-ons that might conflict that we don't have, that you might have, so on and so forth.
Yeah, we can't test for everything, right? So that's the main reason why we're doing it this way. I just want to briefly talk about Navigraph and our involvement with them. We do not have anything more than a developer to developer relationship with Navigraph. They're not giving us anything for free that they're not giving to any other developer. So what does that mean?
Well, we worked with them actually to set up our navigation database.
Yeah, that's not what I meant. Right. What I meant is we're not able to give you, the end user, anything more than what any other developer will give. You will, if you want to use the charts and you want to use the terrain and blah, blah, blah.
You will have to have a Navigraph.
You will have to have a Navigraph subscription. I don't know what the cost is, and we don't factor that in, but you will absolutely have to purchase one. Go ahead, Farley.
So just to take you back into the cockpit here, just want to show you a couple things that we were able to do in the sim that, to be honest, I'm pretty gosh darn chuffed with. So one is TAWS. We compiled our own terrain database, and so we get a nice terrain awareness system here. You can change the range and whoops, sorry, that was the nav radar display. TAWS, there we go. Change the range and whatnot, and you can't do this type of display using the native sim interface. So now the radar is another thing that I'm super proud of. So the radar, we were able to get ground shadows. So how we did it is kind of complicated and cool, I think, but we've got ground shadows. So basically, you can see, if you look out to the left, you can see these ridge lines, right, on Oahu, right, and you can see the shadow of the first ridge line there. The water is, of course, black, right? This aft section we don't have radar coverage in. You can see the sweep. And if I zoom out a little bit, which I can do with my range key, right, just select display 2. So this is another hardware key I've got in. So let's take it to range 20. That's all ocean. Now under the sweep, there we go. Now you can see that gap in the middle where we don't have radar coverage, right, because the mountain's in the way. Yeah, because the mountain's in the way. Another thing that's cool is we have a common cursor system. So I've set it up to the hardware again. Let's see. Let's reset. Oh, that's linked to gear. I'm running afoul of sim hard-coded or sim keys right now. Okay, well, we can just push it here. Let's reset this. Am I not set up to display 2 here? Probably missed something here at some point. All right, well, let's... Oh, I'm in compute. Yeah, that's the problem. I went into the wrong cursor mode. All right. Ground cursor. Now this will work. Yeah, now I should be able to reset. There we go. So yeah, I clicked the wrong button at some point and ended up in quick cursor mode, which I might not have time to get to today.
Yeah, we don't.
We don't have to go into everything. So
yeah, I don't want to go into everything. That's not the point of this. The
yeah.
point is to show, and I think
you've
done that.
Yeah, so here we can put it. We can move our cursor around. We can lock it on the ground, and then I can actually. If we go to offset mode here, this one, we can then zoom in. Go to our expand mode. I can track that area, and then I can actually input it into the computer. There's our lat lon. I can go direct to, plug in that lat lon, execute, and now I've got a direct to that lat lon that I've found with my cursor. And now that I've got that, I can actually show you. You can actually see the cursor in the HUD as well. If we come around here, let's get also out of the zoom mode. You'll notice also how this is really jerking. You see how this looks this is moving so jerkily? That's actually true. That's one of those things where the real plane does that, and as a developer, you see it do that, and you go, ah. It makes it so much harder than if it were just to move smoothly. Some of those things, like some of what's hardest about making a really realistic airplane are the things that don't work as well as you would want them to. So when I move this cursor around, you can see the cursor, the line heading to the cursor called the cursor strobe, and the actual overlay all work, all update at different speeds, right? And so we all have all that true to the aircraft, and a lot more. And of course we have TCAS too, which I forgot to turn on. Here we go, TCAS. Let's see if there's any other planes around. If there are, they'll show up. No need to worry. Yeah, how are we doing on time then?
Well, I think we need to talk about a bunch of other stuff, but I just want to briefly go through what this aircraft is and what it represents and how we view it moving forward, just so we alleviate any tensions or concerns. This is, first off, not, as you can plainly see, vaporware, right? That's number one. It's not vaporware.
Yeah.
It's not 100% yet. I would, say, given what's going on inside this aircraft, it's about 90 to 95% done. There's some stuff that needs to be done for sure, absolutely. There's some visual stuff that needs to be added, like cargo drops, and we're still looking at paratroopers, as I mentioned. And there are some systems that still need to be fleshed out, and one or two that need to be started. We do intend to do those. We are not stopping development just because we put it on sale. We know that not everybody's going to buy it initially. And that's okay. That's fine. You don't have to, but we really do appreciate those that give us your money now. So I briefly want to just touch on how, we're selling this, right? And that is, you buy it now, you only pay once. You're not paying again, except for the DLC, which everybody's going to have to pay for. You're not going to have to pay again. You buy it now, you give us your $24.99. That's it. You get the full release version when it's ready. As to when it will be ready, that really depends on a lot of factors. And that is, it could take longer, it could take shorter. We are not giving a specific timeline. We're hoping that it will all be done before Christmas, but again, no promises. There are no promises being made here. None at all. It's a risk, but it's not much of a risk because, quite honestly, given where the product is right now, as you can plainly see just looking at the HUD, and everything else, the systems and the product it's amazing. Farley and his team have done amazing work. Quite honestly, it's amazing. I'm looking at this and I just go, wow. So, yes, it will come with a paint kit. Yes, you'll be able to make your own. I can't say that it will be easy. I'm not going to say that. There are two versions. There's the short and the long, the Dash 30 and this and the short. There will be a limited amount of cargo capabilities. When I say that, I'm saying that we will not have more than, I think, 5 or 6 different loadouts, at least initially. We'll look at others down the line. No promises on how many there'll be and what they will be. We're willing to listen to asks on that. So I think that covers pretty much the 30. Does anybody have any questions? If you do, now is the time because I'm about to move on to something else.
Don't want to show the night lighting?
Oh, you could show the night lighting. That would be very cool.
There's also a question about external features, chocks and engine covers and all that eye candy stuff.
All that stuff's in. It's all in.
We got external fuel tanks as well. Right,
and they're asking about what's behind the cargo hold. I know we did show walking onto the flight or in through the cargo area into the flight deck, but I don't think we actually showed the cargo area.
We have not shown the cargo area. It's done. What time does it drop? I don't know. I don't know. We picked the day, but we didn't pick the time. I don't know.
What does that keep hitting that F10 or whatever the reload key is for the browser?
F5.
F5. There you go.
F5. I think I'm okay with. It has to be early enough that the boys, the team, can be up to handle any issues. So it's definitely not going to be midnight. I think 9 a.m. EDT is good, right? So on the 1st, which is this is true, right? Well, I don't want to say that, Steve, because if I say that, no, I don't want to say that. I think we just getting something stable. That's like priority number 1. Stability. Yeah, you can drop the link to the website again into the page, into the chat for this, into the stream. We want to make it, the light lighting is really cool.
Not just I can show you the coolest part. So yeah, this is it's just pretty like mind-blowingly crazy. So if you go here to lighting, interior lighting trim, let's put this on HDD 1. How about? You can literally adjust there's 10 pages of lighting adjustments. You can adjust anything. Like each we've done it absolutely fully true to the real thing. So, for example, like I just pick one at random, the AFCS panel, right? I'm trying to fly while also doing this by hand, but or the air conditioning panel. Here's the edge light. I can decrease that, and you'll see. Trim that down, and if I go up now, you can see the lights there are much dimmer than the other ones, and you can trim any light in the cockpit just like that. It's pretty wicked cool.
We also have the external lighting done too.
Yeah,
Also...
the external lighting, then the landing lights that extend and retract. That's all fully in and fully.
Yeah, Slimers cool. Too. The Slimers
yep,
work
we got
as well.
our here. We can check that out from the outside here. There we go. Looking good.
Slimers!
Pretty dope.
Sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very sexy indeed.
Damn.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Farley. Looking so nice, man. And we do have some Easter eggs in here. We're not gonna talk.
You have to find them.
You'll have to find them. You all get that there is one in the microwave. Yes, okay. And we don't want to show you any of these because they're fun, right? And they're fun to find, right? So we are putting some in. There's some that are already in. We're gonna be adding more as time goes on. And we do have plans for making this not just cool and interesting, but also, with a little bit of fun too, right? So kind of like the 310. And with that, I'm going to switch to talking about our product, our existing 2020 product line, and how we view that going forward. So Farley, feel free to land or do whatever it is that you want to do.
Keep talking. I'll just.
Okay. So just briefly, we have released some of our products, T6, P6, PC6, and the 310 are now updated for 2024 compatibility. Now, what does that mean? First off, they're not native. That means there's a lot of things in 2024 that are not going to work, career mode being one of them, right? It's not going to work. And there's no guarantee that the products themselves will function 100% like they do in 2020. And the reason for this is, it should be obvious, but I will say it anyway, and that is that they are non-native 2024. They're 2020 products, right? And we've just, we've spent pretty serious amount of time getting those particular products up to date. We are working on doing some others like that. I think the Sabre is in the list, the 530 is in the list. I don't want to get into too many specifics other than those two, which we are actively working on. And the intention is, of course, to release them as compatible. We're not going to charge for that. But when we decide to do them as native products, they will be considered by us to be new. And you will not, unless you purchase them directly from us, you will not be getting them, you will have to pay no matter what. You're going to have to pay, even if you bought them directly from us. You're definitely going to have to pay for them because it's a significant amount of work to redo them as native. So we may have an update fee, an upgrade fee for those who purchase directly from us. But those who purchased on the marketplace, I don't know. We'll have to see how MS approaches the marketplace. Right now, the marketplace is kind of up and down. So that is pretty much how we see this moving forward. We're not going to decide now, or we're not going to talk about which products we're going to update. We have a long list of products that we have that are new, this being one of them, the Zero, the Otter Totter, the F16, and some others that we've talked about. Excuse me, the UH1H. Sorry, bleep me out there, Merlin. Those products are all going to be done in 2024, and they will be released as they are done. I can't say as to when, and who knows? We'll see. As far as the 2020 products are concerned, we'll see. We'll see. We've done a bunch of deals with some other companies. One of them that I can talk about, and that's with Miltech. Gabe and I made a deal on the H60, which you are aware of, I hope. And that is supposed to be released relatively soon. I'm not going to take away from his thunder, so I don't actually know when he's going to release it. But we worked with them to make the H60 really nice, and it's pretty nice.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
It's beautiful, yeah. And we have some other stuff with some other companies that we're not at liberty to talk about because they haven't been announced. So we're moving forward, and we do hope that you go out and spend $24.99 on this because it's really beautiful, and we need to get this out the door. Oh man, you're just acing that. Look at that.
Hey, don't say anything, please.
Me, I'd be all over the frickin' place. Come on. I'd be all over, man. Oh, what's with the Master Caution always appearing there, Farley?
I didn't see what it was. It's probably low RPM, low NP. It's very easy, and that's something that we're still dialing in also.
Right.
It's easy to get an NP excursion. To some extent that's true to the real thing, but also we're still dialing it in. There's still tuning ongoing on the flight, the profile and the engines.
So pretty.
There you go.
All right. So I'm willing to take a couple of minutes of questions. So does anybody have any? If not, we're going to shut this down.
There was a lot of questions or repeated questions about whether the paint kit would be available with the alpha release.
I don't see why not. Okay, so something about the paint kit is it's massive. Like, I am not kidding, massive. I think it's like all of the PSDs. Dosh is getting no PK. I'm going to go through the PSD files and lower them down. I'll collapse a bunch of the stuff so you'll be able to at least make them. But it's big. It's definitively big. Probably on the order of 10 to 15 gigabytes. I know I need to collate it. I'm going to do that. I will do that. So the answer is no, not on release. We won't be able to do it on release. But shortly thereafter, sure. Right. So we're not going to be able to show anything on the SR today. Let's see. T38. I can't discuss the T38. We're not at liberty to say anything about the T38. Sorry.
Someone asked about ACJ. I don't think we can do that. Can we?
Could.
Yeah.
I mean, we have done it, but I don't know if we can do it.
The issue with the ACJ is there's an entire whole other
Yeah.
system, right?
So
It's like twice as much as, I mean, the basic Dirty 30, right, has what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 10 different computers, right? The ACJ adds a whole other OS essentially, right?
so
And
yeah, I'm just gonna stomp on this right now. Okay, the only ACJ that would be possible, and it's the only one, is like an external and internal model type. You know what I'm
with
saying? So like
essentially no, yeah, with
no
essentially
systems.
no realism to it, which
Yeah,
yeah,
no CISO station, nothing like that. And the reason is, as Farley says, adding that capability is like doing the whole airplane yet again, and we're just not,
yeah, maybe not
we're
the
not doing
entire
it.
airplane, but like a good 40% probably. But we do have some of the CISO station though, or something approximating that. If you want to see
Yeah,
in the back here, we've got
don't show that
our
as classified. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, so we've got our screens back there. There's a light switch back there somewhere.
Right. So just
But
just
yeah,
just so everybody is aware, we did do the ACJ for SOCOM and the Air Force, right? We did do it. But the parts that we did were the front end, not the back end. So we didn't
not
deal
the
with the
combat
CISO station. Yeah.
systems.
We didn't do any of the combat systems. Um, yeah, Steve has a good suggestion. Switch to daytime and
Oh
see
yeah,
what
that's probably a good
it
idea.
looks like, right?
Yeah,
Um,
here's day.
but
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so
day.
the idea
Here's day.
here about the ACJ is if, and it is a fairly large if, we were to do it, it would be model only. It would not be systems, and that's, I mean, okay, firing the guns. Well, maybe you could do it from in the back, you know. But we definitely don't want to get into targeting. We don't want to get into the side view HUD. One of the main problems that we would have with doing this is that what we did for the Air Force and SOCOM is classified. So we would have to be super extra careful to make sure that what we did for you, consumers, would not be in any way, shape, or form realistic or true to what the ACJ is, except for that information, which is freely available on the internet.
It would
Right.
have to all be based on open sources, yeah.
Right.
That's right. And
So
that
you really
would
wouldn't be
And
be,
that's
getting, yeah.
it's yeah, yeah. I mean, our philosophy basically is that we want to keep it as realistic as possible, and just at the present time, that's just not at all feasible to do for the AC.
yeah. So the that's the long answer, but the short answer is model only, and that's a hard maybe. We'll see. We'll see. The back end of the ACJ is actually quite busy with all of those guns, the howitzer and the two 20, is it two 20 millimeters now? I can't remember, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the back, and I'm not sure that we want to get into that. But we'll see. We'll see. It's a maybe, and if we were to do it, it would likely be DLC. Oh yeah, can you take us to the back?
You want to see the cargo compartment?
Yeah.
All right.
So one thing to note about the cargo compartment is that it is a cargo compartment, but it is not, because of the triangle amount. It is not fully fleshed out the way and or as busy as the real one. The real one,
Or as busy as the cockpit. We
yeah,
basically put as many polys as we could into the cockpit and
that's right.
sacrificed the back end.
That's it. So it's nice enough, but it is in no way, shape, or form what I would call realistic.
For sure.
It's not, and that that's okay for us. and hopefully for you too, because that's not where you're going to be spending most of your time, right? That said, the ramp does open, the doors open, the chute protector doors do open. Like the plane does all of those things like it should. And we will have the cargo thing. I think it's in the menu.
Yep,
And
it's in the tablet.
right. So you will be able to raise the
How do you
seats
open these
and
again?
get rid of the there you go. And you'll see that when you raise the seats in the middle are gone too. And
Bone.
so yeah,
Bone.
the bone. You want
Bone.
to talk about the bone?
Someone does.
Okay, so the bone. Well, God, I love the bone. So we have not moved much further on the bone in terms of systems, because we realized that we need to decide on how we're going to approach the bone. The bone is difficult because it's in the same era as this aircraft, 1950s, 1960s technology. So what's going on is crazy complicated. It looks simple, but it's crazy complicated. And then there's the whole weapons thing that we still haven't decided. And then on top of that, there's the flight modeling for swing wing aircraft, which, I know that Dino and Heatblur did the F-14, and that's really well done. Congratulations to them. But we don't have the same technological capability to do that. Not yet, anyway, and we haven't really looked at it. So we have the model, it's done. We haven't moved forward. We have a lot of other stuff on our plate. The intention is to do it or to do it with someone else. And those discussions are ongoing, and we'll see what happens. We have the other aircraft that we wanna do, the UH-1Y and the AH-1Z. Those are still in the offing, and yes, we are working on those. And development hasn't stopped. Dude, we talked about this. Yes, you heard. I'll speak to you later. Jesus. No, it's because somebody that we're doing business with just popped into my chat and he's like, "Did I hear you say P1?" And I'm like, "Fuck, man." Oh man. Okay, so anyway, I think that's it. If anybody has any last second questions, I'm going to leave you with the D30 being released 9 a.m. EDT, May the 1st, 2025. This is likely to be, if not the build that you get, it will be close. It'll be
close.
It'll be close.
It'll be a little bit better, but it'll be
a little bit better. That's right. We're hoping
it won't be a lot better.
Right. We're hoping to get some more flight model fixes in, and tweaks in. That's where our desires lie at this point in time. So you can buy it direct from our website. We take all major credit cards, and or PayPal. You can purchase it using Stripe. You can purchase using PayPal. The price is in US dollars. And I think that's it. Anybody got any other questions? All righty.
I think that's it.
That's it. We are done. I would like to take this moment before we kick out here to say thank you very much to Farley for demoing the D30 and
well done, Farley. Thank you.
And
for building the freaking thing.
For building it. The bloody thing. Yes, thank you.
And Farley has zero free time, so the fact that we got this much out of him, even on a Sunday,
I cannot look. Farley deserves every possible accolade that you can give to a person, alive or dead, that is possible to make. Seriously, my admiration for him is next level. Really, really, really next level. So thank you to you and your team. It's really appreciated. And wow, go out and buy this, please, please. Okay, we love you. Bye. Kick us out, Merlin.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Yep.